How did the events of Ashura reach us? Some raise this question, asking, how did the details of this day, the honorable martyrdom, reach us? What is the value of this question, and where is the issue? Some raise the issue as follows, that everyone who was with al-Hussein was killed, and no one who witnessed the event remained. So are we narrating the martyrdom from the enemies, such that these events from beginning to end are transmitted from the enemy's camp? This is a legitimate question. Indeed, we need to go back to the origin of the narration of the martyrdom and who recorded it. When we go back to history, we can divide the stages of how al-Hussein's martyrdom reached us into two stages: the stage of narration and the stage of documentation. 1. The stage of narration. Let's look at the stage of narration. Who narrated the martyrdom of al-Hussein to us? We have more than one group. Our discussion is not about individuals, but about groups. The first group consists of the survivors from the army of al-Hussein, peace be upon him. Some mistakenly believe that everyone who was with Imam al-Hussein was killed, but this is incorrect. We have a group of individuals from the companions of al-Hussein who were not killed on the day of Ashura, and life was written for them. For example, Uqba, or Aqaba, ibn Salman. This man was a slave belonging to al-Rabib, the wife of Imam al-Hussein. He said, I witnessed the positions of al-Hussein from his departure from Medina until his martyrdom in Karbala, and I heard every word he spoke. This means he was an eyewitness, and not just an eyewitness to the battle on the day of the battle, but from the very beginning of al-Hussein's uprising, meaning since his movement from Medina. He transmitted many things, including many of the Imam's speeches and words. He lived for years after the martyrdom. Another example, al-Dahak al-Mashriqi. When al-Dahak pledged allegiance to al-Hussein, he did so on a conditional basis. He made a condition, saying, I will fight with you on the condition that there is someone else with you. If everyone is killed and no one remains but me, then I am free from my allegiance. Meaning, I will be a helper to you as long as there is someone else fighting besides me. As soon as everyone was killed and he became the last person in al-Hussein's camp, he was freed from his allegiance. And indeed, that is what happened. He was the last person remaining with al-Hussein. He stayed until the final moments before the honorable martyrdom. Abi Abdillah, the Imam, said to him, You are free, take my horse and go. He took the horse and managed to escape from the enemies. He survived and transmitted many matters about the martyrdom. Another figure, al-Mawaki, or al-Mukha, ibn Thumama al-Asadi. He was in al-Hussein's camp and fought bravely until he was wounded. The narration states that his hand or both hands were severed, to the point that the enemies thought he was dead. When the decapitation of heads and trampling by horses took place, they found him alive, so the tribe of Bani Asad intervened. The tribe stepped in and rescued him from Yazid's army. He was captured but not killed. Later, when he was brought to Kufa before Ibn Ziyad, through the mediation of Bani Asad, he was sentenced to exile. He was exiled to Al-Zara, the Awamiya region, and died there. He also narrated what happened regarding the martyrdom. These are just examples. There are more than one of these survivors who transmitted the events of the martyrdom. This is the first group. The second group consists of the surviving women and children from the household, al-Bayt, peace be upon them. The women were not killed. Most of the women and children remained alive. Zainab, Kulthum, Sukaina, and al-Rabib, peace be upon them all, witnessed the events of the day of Ashura and transmitted them. When we say someone transmitted them, it doesn't mean they had to transmit the entire martyrdom. they transmitted events and scenes from the day of Ashura. Imam al-Sajjad, peace be upon him, was also present, along with others. For example, we have al-Hasan al-Mutana, al-Hasan, the son of Imam al-Hasan. He was not only among the survivors, but he actually participated in the battle and survived because his maternal uncle was in the enemy's army. He lived a long life afterward and was among those who transmitted the martyrdom of al-Hussein. Similarly, Imam al-Bakir, peace be upon him, was present. Therefore, the number of al-Hussein's wounds that we recount in the martyrdom is narrated from al-Bakir. The account of al-Hussein's horse, and what it said, al-Dalima, is from Imam al-Bakir. So, the second group is the survivors from al-Bayt. The third group is the enemy's camp itself. The enemy's camp also contributed to transmitting this event. Therefore, in more than one place in the account of the martyrdom, we narrate from whom? From Ahmed ibn Muslim and others. Perhaps Ahmed ibn Muslim is the most famous, but in this well-known martyrdom account, more than one section is transmitted from those who were in Yazid's camp. Now some might ask, how can we narrate from those who came to kill al-Hussein? We say that the army of Yazid and the army of Sham were not all on the same level. That is to say, they were not all Umayyads, Nawasib, or haters of al-Bayt. That is incorrect. Some of them went out under compulsion. For this reason, some historical texts mention that a group of those who were in Yazid's camp were watching the martyrdom and weeping. Why? Because in their hearts, they loved al-Hussein, but they were weak. They could not face the enemy's army or rid themselves of the authority of Ibn Ziyad. So they stood on a hill on the side of Yazid's army, watching and weeping. When these people returned to Kufa, they transmitted many details of the martyrdom. This is the third group. The fourth group consists of the Imams of al-Bayt, peace be upon them, whether the Imams who were present, like Imam al-Sajjad and Imam al-Bakir, whom we mentioned in the second group, or the rest of the Imams. Meaning, from Imam al-Siddiq onward, there are narrations that mention the martyrdom in its entirety, to the point where you can say, the martyrdom of al-Hussein according to the narration of Imam al-Siddiq. When you come to Imam al-Qasim, he has narrations regarding the martyrdom. This continues through Imam al-Rida, all the way down to Imam al-Mahdi, may Allah hasten his reappearance. Imam al-Mahdi also has an account of the martyrdom. What is it? Ziyarat al-Nahiyya. It is a visitation, but it contains specific details of the events of the day of Ashura. The narrations transmitted from the Imams, meaning from al-Siddiq to al-Mahdi, constitute a martyrdom account in their own right. For this reason, some books carry this name, al-Maqtal al-Hussein al-Mathursday, the received account of al-Hussein's martyrdom, meaning the narrations that have come down from the infallibles recalling the events of the day of Ashura. Thus, we have four groups that transmitted the martyrdom to us. The survivors from the army of al-Hussein. Al-Bayt, the women and children who were in the army of al-Hussein. Those who transmitted the martyrdom from the enemy's camp. The Imams of al-Bayt. If we look at the first three groups, all of them were eyewitnesses who witnessed the martyrdom of al-Hussein, and then these individuals informed their contemporaries of what had happened to al-Hussein. For instance, when you look at the second group, Zainab, Kulthum, Sukaina, al-Rabib, and Zayn al-Abidin. When the captivity took place and they were moved from one place to another, they were speaking of the martyrdom of al-Hussein in every place they went. The very speech of Imam al-Sajjad in Sham contained scenes from the martyrdom of al-Hussein when he enumerated, I am the son of so and so, I am the son of so and so. These are scenes from the martyrdom. These first three layers, who witnessed the martyrdom, recounted it to the rest of the people, whether in Kufa, Sham, or later in Medina.